Happy Father's Day, everybody. Well, by the time you're seeing this, it'll be Wednesday, but nonetheless, happy Father's Day. It's been a very busy weekend with family. We've done a lot. We went out to eat Friday.
Ready?
Mini golfed.
See the flag?
Go in the hole, go in the hole. Oh boy, no.
Good job! Good job, Emmy. One more time.
Tap it in there.
Yay! Saw the fireworks in Mukwonago. Yesterday we went out and saw my grandma in Delafield and hosted dinner at the Green Acre right here for my parents' anniversary. And then we went to the carnival in Mukwonago. Emmy had fun on all the rides there. And today we're going to the Father's Day parade. The rest of the day it's supposed to be thunderstorms. So it's been a busy weekend and I really haven't had time to put together a video with any substantial content, but I'll do a quick walk around the property here and give you guys some updates on things. We're still making progress on the playset. I've got a lot of that retaining wall done now. We put fresh mulch down and I'm going to be putting some edging around the edge of this mulch. I have to go purchase that yet. Probably the biggest news with the playset is we finally got our last section of the spiral slide. So the slide is complete now.
Wow. Jeez. Work. Yep.
I also planted a trumpet vine right here. Trumpet vines can grow up to like 30 feet long. I'm going to take some remesh and secure the remesh to this face so the vine can grow up the remesh. And since it grows quite long, I think I might take it up and go up on the roof, maybe go across the bridge here and up onto this roof. It'll look pretty neat over time. It has beautiful yellow flowers on it too, which the hummingbirds and the pollinators really like. So the playset is pretty near completion, making our way this way. I still have to finish the retaining wall around this corner. And then we've got our 2 hazelnut trees, and I planted 10 rhubarb crowns or roots or bulbs, whatever you want to call them, which I don't think are sprouting yet. It's a little late. You're supposed to put these in early spring, but we'll see how they do. They were on clearance at Menards, so I picked them up. Yesterday I came out to the apiary, cracked open the hives again and did an inspection. I saw hive beetle larvae in one of our pollen patties. I think the colony's doing well enough now. Both colonies are. I don't know if you can hear that. There's a woodpecker right above me. Love that sound. Both colonies are strong enough that I'm going to stop using the pollen patties now. I scraped off the pollen patty that had larvae all over it, discarded that, and I put a new one on. I probably shouldn't have done that. There's enough forage out here for the bees to bring their own pollen back now. I'm not too concerned. It didn't look like there was a ton of larvae in there. What was on there I scraped off and got rid of, but we'll check it out again. I don't know, maybe I'll come back out here in a couple of days and inspect it. I'm not going to touch them today because we do have, as I mentioned, some storms rolling in, and it seems like anytime I go into the hives when there's a storm in the near future, I get stung, so I'm not going to do that. Rather not get stung on Father's Day. But both colonies are looking really good. Actually, the first colony, the observation window colony, has almost filled out their top brood box already. There's larvae and capped honey in the second brood box already. That's been on there for 2 weeks now. Again, just it always blows me away how quickly these bees can work. So the bees are looking good. This is called Annual Honesty. I had never seen a plant like this before, and this is the only one in our wildflower patch, so I'm not sure how it got in here, but it's really neat. Apparently it had purple flowers on it, and now it's in the seed stage, so it's got these little pods with seeds inside of them. They're paper thin. When these seeds are ready to drop, this pouch will open up and it'll just like drop the little seeds out. It's a really neat looking plant. Our mulberry tree is just loaded with mulberries. All different stages, some ripe, some are unripe still. But we did have a really windy storm come through a couple of days ago, and there's an absolute mess of mulberries down here underneath our tree. I decided to see if our ladies would be interested in mulberries, so I grabbed a couple of chickens the other day and illegally took them out of their coop and let them free range under our tree here. I'm a bit of a rebel when it comes to the chickens. I don't If you haven't been able to tell, I don't necessarily agree with all of our ordinances here, but a chicken at a time I feel comfortable letting out and free ranging because I can manage that. I wouldn't let my whole flock out to run around. But I took them in here, see if they'd eat up the berries, and yeah, they kind of nibbled on a few, but they were more interested in the grass, it seemed like. I've made mulberry jam in the past. I got time. I might do that again yet this year, but we lost a good amount of the crop here on the ground and I don't feel like picking it all up one by one. My buddy Scott, our bee mentor, he came over last year and harvested a whole bunch of mulberry and made a mulberry mead. He makes his own meads, which are phenomenal. If you don't know, mead is alcohol made from fermenting honey. Yeah, he made a wild black mulberry mead, and I haven't tried it, but I'm sure it turned out great, like all of his other meads. Another cool update is yesterday, Saturday, was the first day that I've seen activity with our leaf cutters. I'll put the link to the video in the top of the screen here where I talk more about the leaf cutters. If you've been following our channel, you've noticed I haven't really posted anything about the leaf cutters since installing them, and that's because they haven't done anything. A year or two back, I set this post up in the ground with a different native beehive on it. So it's kind of back in my tree line, and the sun comes through the sky up here, and it doesn't really get a lot of morning sun. I think it stays pretty cool actually in the wood line here. So probably next year I'm gonna take this out into the yard so it gets more direct sunlight. I think these bees should have been hatching from their cocoons a lot sooner, and what causes them to hatch is the relative temperature. The ambient temperature has to be, don't quote me because I haven't researched this recently, but it has to be like I think high 80s for a few weeks, and then they'll start coming out of their cocoons. Well, we've been in the high 80s for like a month now, but again, it's kind of shaded, it's in the cooler area here, so I think they're behind schedule. But anyway, yesterday I was seeing a lot of activity. I'll throw a video in right now of that. There goes one. You can see all the frass. This is all little bits of leaf litter from the bees coming out of their cocoons. So I was starting to get a little worried there that our leaf cutters maybe had died, or I don't know, but sorry, I got distracted. There's a wasp in our peach tree. Wasps are actually, they can be quite the nuisance, but they're very beneficial. They eat a lot of little pest insects that can do a lot of crop damage. I suppose they probably pollinate too. I don't know, but I do know that they kill a lot of naughty insects that damage your crops, so having wasps around isn't a bad thing. Just noticed we have some wild raspberries in our tree line here. That's cool to see too. The peach tree is doing phenomenal. We didn't lose too much to June drop actually. June drop is a term for when a fruit tree will drop unhealthy or an excess amount of fruit. If everything gets pollinated really well, the tree might actually have more fruit than it can take care of during the growing season. So it'll drop smaller or unhealthier fruits to the ground, so it doesn't have to waste its energy on growing fruit that isn't going to turn out into anything great anyway. So we're left with big healthy fruits all over the tree. The tree's just loaded. Very excited to see that. So I didn't film this when I planted our peppers and our tomatoes. I was just really busy and I just needed to get them in the ground, so I didn't film it. I apologize. But we've got some ghost peppers, some King of the North bell peppers, jalapenos, habanero orange peppers. Yeah, so I started a lot of these from seed, and unfortunately I think I started them a little bit late, and they just weren't very big when I brought them out here, and a lot of them perished. So I did support some of our local nurseries and pick up some other pepper plants as backups just in case the ones that I started from seed don't take. The tomatoes, I had some leftover wood from the playset build, so I built this structure over the top, and coming in the mail tomorrow, I think, I've got a net, like a trellising net system that I'm going to put over this and over this. So the tomatoes, as they grow up, will grow through that trellising net, and the net will support everything in here, and I don't have to mess around with cages all over like I've got on our peppers here. I'm really excited about, these are Brandywine tomatoes, which is an heirloom variety. I started all these from seed, except for these two basil in the center here. And they are doing fantastic. I only lost one of them down here, but very, very healthy looking tomatoes. A quick tip, since I didn't film when I put these in the ground, plant your tomatoes, like remove the bottom couple of leaves on the stem when you put them in the ground, and actually bury them an inch or two lower than where the soil level was when you picked up your plants or when you bring them out from starting your seed. By burying that stem lower, it'll actually send roots out up the stem and give it more root structure underground to support these plants when they get much bigger. You can also take crushed eggshells and put them in the hole that you're transplanting your tomato plant out into, and that'll add extra calcium to the soil and prevent blossom end rot. If that's something that you've dealt with in the past, you might want to try putting some crushed eggshells down in there. On this side of the tomato bed, we've got 6 Roma plum tomatoes, 2 more basil. Basil is a great companion plant for growing with your tomatoes. It helps prevent certain pests that affect your tomato plants. And then on the end here, I think they're pronounced Eagleheart. It's a yellow, like cherry style tomato. I planted these, or I started these from seed and brought them out here, and these two are doing very well. The sweet potatoes that Emmy and I planted are looking fantastic, much better than last year. Last year I didn't have them within a fenced in bed, and the rabbits just ate the tops off them continually, so we really didn't get a crop last year. Looking forward to seeing what kind of a harvest we get on these this year. Over here I've got bear paw corn. So bear paw is a variety of corn that is best used for like making popcorn. It's popcorn seeds basically. So I'm excited to see how this turns out. I do have another bed in our other garden with some bear paw as well. Well, Mrs. Green Acre just called me inside. She needs some help with the kids. So I'm gonna end this video here. Yeah, sorry I didn't put together a more substantial video this week, but actually I'm not sorry, because we're spending time with family, and that's more important. Wait, don't go anywhere. I forgot to mention, we have one more week left, exactly a week actually from the day that this comes out, for our giveaway. I think we have 8 people that submitted photos so far, so we get a couple more and we hit 10 people, then there will be 2 drawings. Just remember to be a subscriber of the channel and email us pictures of your garden. I'm curious to see what everybody's growing, how your gardens are doing, what your infrastructure looks like. So go ahead and send us an email with your photos, give us your name. If you have a YouTube channel, let us know. I'll be putting together a little video with all the photos that I get sent to show off your gardens with the community. And yeah, then we'll do a drawing and we'll pick some winners. So thank you again to all who have already submitted their photos, and I hope some more of you submit as well so we can give some more stuff away for everyone. Always love giveaways. Take care, everybody.